carpet is all covered in jizz. I'm Jared Genesis. Do you know what I am saying? I'm hanging at playground, watching kids playing. I'm an alpha, I live with my dad. You're a synth bro, and I'm just a Chad. I'm a black belt, you know what it is. And my carpet is all covered in jizz. I'm Jared Genesis. Do you know what I am saying? I'm hanging at playground, watching kids playing. Do you know what I am saying? I'm hanging at playground, watching kids playing. I'm Jared Genesis. Do you know what I am saying? I'm hanging at playground, watching kids playing.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get a witness.
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true. Sometimes I cry.
Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken Peasants.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Fuck it.
How are you?
Do it live.
Doing it live. Oh my goodness. I had my microphone way too loud. I just realized that. Jesus. Hey, Susan. And yours is too low. I have you muted still.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Gotta get everybody alert. They're all sleeping off of the tryptophan, all the turkey they ate yesterday.
I started getting tired before I even started eating. I sat down and I was like, I'm tired already because of all the work that goes into like getting a meal ready and like the anticipation and the preparation. And before my fork even like sank into the food, I was ready to go to sleep.
Did you have a pre-dinner nap?
No. I had a post-dinner nap, and then I talked to my parents, and they're like 3 hours ahead of me, and they're way older, you know, and they were less tired than I am. Like I am more tired than people in their late 60s, you know.
Yeah, but they live in Ohio, so it's not as tiresome as the big city.
Oh,
Seattle's the big city.
I think Columbus is bigger than Seattle.
Maybe.
It is. It's like the same size as San Francisco. Like San Francisco proper and Columbus are like the same size.
Interesting. Just no hills.
Oh yeah. I'm just talking about population. Maybe area though too, because there's not a lot of water there. So like usually cities that have like less water around them have more land area. So, man, tomorrow's the big game in Ohio too, and Michigan versus. Yeah, and they've been playing it for over 100 years, and it always starts at noon, which means it starts at 9 a.m. here.
And Michigan won last year, right?
They won the entire. They were undefeated last year. They won the championship last year.
Okay.
So yeah, they won every game they played. And they played Washington in the championship game and destroyed Washington.
How are they doing this year?
They're not good this year. They're not even in the rankings.
Okay.
You know, they rank like the top 25 teams
Yeah.
in the country, and this year they're doing it for the first time ever where the top 12 teams go to the playoffs, and they all play each other in the playoffs now.
Oh.
But Michigan's not even in the top 25. Last I checked. They might be, I don't know, but they'd be in the bottom of it. They're like not.
So it should be a pretty easy Buckeye victory tomorrow.
I don't like to predict a victory because I've learned.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't like, oh shit, Trump is going to lose for sure. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned because it's like some people don't care if they have to eat their words. I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to like declare victory before it's over.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I like to declare victory, and then when I lose, I like to gaslight everybody and let them know that I was always voting for Trump.
Oh God. Yeah. Everyone, please like this stream. We're doing this stream for a little while, and then we're gonna do a Patreon private show. Originally, we were gonna do Actual Mania Survivor Situation, but there were some scheduling conflicts with some of the people that were supposed to be in it, so we need to rectify that. That is being rescheduled till the following Friday. The first Friday in December, which I already had a private show scheduled for that day because of the power outage I had. I last Friday I couldn't do a private show, so I had to move it.
Yeah,
so
you were in the dark for 4 days.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah,
I had my first shower today in over a week.
Oh, because you didn't have hot water or something?
No, after I went to the hospital last week, they told me not to shower until my wound had healed. And I've been stinking it up for like a week.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I got ran over by a car and my foot almost got ripped off of my leg. So I had to wear a plaster cast all the way up to my hip. And I could not take regular showers or baths. I had to like sponge bathe, and that does not get you as clean as like.
Did you ever stick things down your cast to itch your leg?
Sometimes, but it was never really that bad. Sometimes I had a lot of nerve damage from it, so I had a lot of like numbness. A lot of times I didn't feel anything. There's still like little numb areas on my toes and stuff till this day, but it's mostly healed, you know. It's like you wouldn't even know it. But if you saw an x-ray of my leg, it's like curved. Like my tibia and fibula bones are like weird, like they healed kind of curved. So yeah.
I was born with curved tibia and fibula. I think it was Blount's disease is what it was called. Like,
I don't know.
I had to wear those things on my legs like Forrest Gump had, except only when I slept. So like I couldn't walk in them. I had like this triangle vice.
So you just like pissed the bed
a couple times, yeah.
Because it's like, oh fuck, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, I was like 5 or 6, so I just laid there and woke up covered in piss, and then told my mom that the tooth fairy left it there. The piss fairy left it there, Mom.
I was just reached out to by one of our people that was supposed to be in Actual Mania tonight that is just now informing me that they forgot a video. So now I told them, I'm not naming names. I'm not trying to shame anybody because they're all volunteers and they do a great job. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, fuck you. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's, you know, it's a flexible schedule that we deal with here. So
it was Dr. Gas Mask.
It was kind of tough. It was kind of tough because it was the day after like a big holiday and everything. So I get it. You know, many of you have family that you spend holidays with.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah. But yeah, please like the stream. I'm gonna tell you this, Big Diesel. I tell everybody that the deadline for the videos is the day before the event because a lot of you guys are chronic procrastinators and you get the video to me literally minutes before it starts. That's why I'm like, the deadline is the day before. That way I have it and I'm not like frantically scrambling to like make sure everyone, I don't like poking people like, where's your video? Where's your video? Where's your video? So like, that's why I do that. That's why I said, technically the deadline was yesterday. There's a few of you who I don't know if it's oppositional defiance or what it is. You get it to me like you're the kind of person that turned in your assignments that you did like the period before they were due. Like you're in the class before the class where the assignment's due doing the assignment.
We should make a Discord poke bot that just pokes everybody like the day before their actual Mania videos is supposed to be due.
So yes, Big Diesel, I would like to just have your video so I have it. Yes, please still send me. Please still send me the video.
Yes.
No need to
Get rid of my
update it.
Swamp ass.
Just give it to me now and I'll put it in the playlist and we'll all be happy. Yeah.
This is taking you back to the 5th grade when Mrs. Trunchable made you eat all that chocolate cake.
Yeah. So we're going to watch some videos. I do want to push the private show that we're doing a little bit here. We're doing a private show after this stream is over. We do it off platform. We get away with a lot more stuff over there that YouTube frowns upon. You can get it by signing up through our patreon.com/DP. If you go there, you can sign up at the $5 level and you'll get the show tonight. I'm going to actually pin it to the top of the Patreon feed right now so people know where it is. And it's going to be pinned right there.
Yeah, patrons $5 and above, come join us. We got a little pre-show, an amuse-bouche, as the French would call this.
Yeah, and then tonight we're doing, in the private show, we're going to do cringe raps. We're going to do news bloopers, which is something we used to do all the time, but we haven't done in a while. Like the highlight reels of like the news bloopers of the last month. That was always kind of funny to watch. I love it when they fuck up on the news. Public freakouts. Got a lot of public freakouts, and that's something because YouTube does not like those. Because usually someone like gets knocked out, or people. I mean, like shit gets set on fire. Who knows?
Yeah, there's some great public freakouts that we miss on the regular show. I remember there was the one where it was like whites versus blacks at a boat, and they were throwing chairs at each other.
That was a huge news story. That was in like Louisiana. An old woman got like hit on the head with a wooden folding chair. Wasn't it? Those are hard.
I saw that clip first. I was like, man, this is terrible. What are they doing to this old white lady? And then I saw the clips leading up to it, and I was like, oh, she shouldn't have been there.
Oh yeah. I think that might have been her first experience seeing like a fight and thought it would be okay for her to like get involved. And she learned really quick that old white ladies should not get involved in brawls.
She was like, I have white privilege.
No, you don't. It was a man that hit her in the head with the chair too.
Yes,
it was like a way bigger dude, and he instead of just like pushing her down or something, he cracked her. He probably like injured her neck. He cracked her like so hard on the top of the head with a wooden folding chair, not an aluminum one, a big heavy wooden folding chair.
Yeah, that was the very first clip of the fight that I saw. I was like, this is messed up. Why would this guy do this? And then every single other clip I watched, I was like, oh, this is why. This is why. Okay. She should not have been there, dumb bitch.
Yeah. It started because like these guys were like attacking this, like these 3 white guys were attacking this black guy.
Yeah.
It had
like a security guard too. He worked there.
Yeah. It had something to do with the marina and where they could park their boat and whatever. And then these guys see the white guys beating up the black guy, so they like jump out of their boat and swim across the river to like I don't even think they knew the guy. And then it was
such an epic fight.
It was like a race riot, like a small like racially motivated brawl
Yeah, little...
yeah. That was a bunch of people went to jail and probably prison for that on both sides. A bunch of them.
Hopefully not too bad. Every once in a while, you guys get your ass kicked. Sometimes you gotta kick some ass. Hopefully, everybody walked away with minimal jail time because a lot of people got served up that day. And I don't think the people that beat them up were really at fault.
I don't think they lessen your jail time based on how bad you got beat up while you were committing a crime. I think they go, did you commit the crime? Yes or no? And then they're like, oh, yes, you did. There's a video of you doing it. And then that's what they do. They don't go, oh, yeah, they did a crime, but they got beat up while they were doing it. Don't think that works that way.
They'll give you time served. So they should give you like ass whooping served because they got served.
Well, when you run for public office, you can make that part of your platform.
I got to become sheriff now.
Sheriff is a crazy position because you can't be fired. Like the police chief could be fired. Like, but an elected position like that, there's a way more complicated process. So the sheriff, like I've seen news stories where sheriffs have like undeniably committed crimes and nothing happened to them. Maybe they got voted out during the next election, but it takes like a lot of footwork to like remove a sheriff. So
I think I remember a recent story where like a sheriff was banging the mayor's wife and then they killed the sheriff or something.
Oh, well,
that's historically, that's how you had to get rid of sheriffs.
That's a lot of footwork.
But you weren't allowed to miss the deputy.
All
the
right.
constable has to arrest the sheriff.
We're going to check out, I guess, Donald Trump's signature song is YMCA by the Village People. And it's probably because it's easy to dance to. Like, even if you can't dance, like you're a 70-year-old white guy, it's okay to dance to it. It's easy. So I think that's why he does that. And Piers Morgan always uses this as the reason why Donald Trump isn't homophobic, because he chooses to dance to the Village People. Seriously, I've heard him say that. He dances to a gay anthem. It's like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, what's that? Okay, my bad. Yeah, take away my rights to marry, take away all my gay privileges. I'm trans in the military because Trump dances to YMCA, so it's cool.
Yep. He dances to a gay anthem. So I guess Elon Musk joined him in. Like Elon Musk is like riding the Trump balls, like he's around him all the time. I'd be sick of him.
Yeah,
because he thinks he's
like Trump's adopted son.
I think Trump keeps him around because of all the cash, like,
oh yeah,
like Elon Musk talks a lot and Trump probably just wishes he would shut up, but the cash is there. And
probably, but the cash is there. So I think Trump is always a little more tolerant when the cash is there.
That's what I'm saying. Trump doesn't have a lot of money to work with. Like he really doesn't. And now he can't
all
run.
Those stupid things he's selling, the watches, the shoes.
I don't think he sells a lot of those. But I think one thing that's a problem for him is that he can't run. He can't run for re-election, so he can't take campaign donations anymore. The party can for whoever runs next, but that's something he's been able to do all the way up until just now. So
I wonder if his sons or somebody might run.
JD Vance is going to run. Unless something happens.
Don Jr. as the vice president.
President-elect Trump spent Thanksgiving at Mar-a-Lago, where he table danced to YMCA with his self-proclaimed best buddy, Elon Musk.
Look at Elon Musk in his dumb X sweater. It's like his Thanksgiving sweater.
It's nice, though, that Trump's got his autistic son out with him.
One thing not on the menu,
Elon.
the fallout over his threat to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico. ABC's Perry Ressam joins us live from Washington with those details. Good morning, Perry.
Lionel, good morning to you. There appears to be a disconnect over what was said on the call and what both leaders agreed to. Trump has been putting pressure on both Mexico and Canada with these tariffs, all tied to immigration. This morning, President-elect Trump and the president of Mexico at odds over a phone call about...
It's funny because, like, the people who don't realize what this is going to be like, they didn't live during a time where we imported, like, everything from Mexico. Like all the reason we have, like, year-round produce is because we import it from Mexico. Like, there used to be a season for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now, because of Mexico's climate, we can just get year-round avocados and whatever else they grow down there.
Oh my God, we can't go back to only having avocados half the year. We can't do that.
We probably won't, but they'll be way more expensive, you know, like if the tariff actually happens. 25%, is it? Like, imagine all of that. Yeah, that's a lot to raise the prices that much. There's no alternative too. You know, like, unless we decide to import them from somewhere else way farther away.
About immigration.
California does avocados, right?
Seasonally, yes. But Mexico is so, like, has like a tropical climate and shit. Like,
this is going to destroy the Chipotle economy. If guacamole gets any more expensive, people aren't going to be able to get guacamole anymore.
Trump says Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. Sheinbaum says she told Trump migrant caravans are being stopped before reaching the U.S.
There might be a few places in the U.S. where they grow all year round, but it's not enough. Like, there's a huge amount of land in Mexico where they grow avocados to supply, you know, the third most populous country in the world. And it's not just produce, but that's just like something easy to point to so people can understand, like, that's something the price would go up 25%. Most of the avocados you see in the grocery store are from Mexico.
So he's saying that he's going to, if they don't shut the border down, he's going to raise the price of avocados?
Yeah, well, he's like, hey, you let criminals and drugs into our country. It's like, why is it their job to keep them out? I don't understand. And yeah, and she's just kind of like, this is bullshit. Yeah, Mexico has a woman president now, and she's Jewish too, which is, it's interesting because, like, they're a very Catholic country. I don't know if her religion is Jewish, but she comes from, like, a Jewish family. Like, I looked up because I saw her last name and I'm like, oh, that's a Jewish last name. That doesn't even sound like a Hispanic name. But yeah, so I don't think she's going to take any shit from them, but I mean, there's only so much she can do from her end. But they can be the scapegoat. Trump loves to do that. He loves to be like, "Oh, our life sucks, but it's not our fault. It's them. It's the brown people."
Last time he said he was going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it.
Never happened.
That never happened. I wonder if any of this tariff stuff will actually happen. I wonder if it's all just talk too.
He did do tariffs last time. So, and he has control of the House and Senate. So yes, there's a good chance he'll do some. I guess we'll see.
Saying, we reiterate that Mexico's position is not to close borders.
We're going to fix our borders.
Immigration, a key issue.
I mean, if he means literally close it, that's insane. Because people cross the border every day. Like, a ton of people cross both of our land borders every day.
Yeah, he won't close it, right?
He doesn't specify what he means by close it. I mean, it already is closed, like, for all intents and purposes. Like, the places you can just walk across the border, you have to, like, survive the voyage to get there, you know?
Yeah.
For Trump on the campaign trail, he is threatening to impose a 25% tariff on goods coming from Mexico and Canada on his first day back in office. Trump blaming both.
First day? I don't even think he can do that. I think he needs Congress to vote on that. I don't think he can just be like, 25% tariff.
What is it when a president does something first day? Is it like just an order or something?
An executive order is like...
Executive order?
Yeah, but I don't think he can do that. I don't think he can do an executive order to add a tariff, but I'm not an expert. So I saw them talking. I saw an interview on some random news video where they interviewed like a lawyer that, like, constitutional law was his specialty, and he made it seem like the president just can't do that.
Both countries for the wave of undocumented immigrants and illegal drugs in the U.S. He says the tariffs will stay in effect until Canada and Mexico solve what he calls
you know how much shit we get from, I mean...
If you think you're going to be coughing up more money for fewer avocados soon, wait until they start deporting the cheap agricultural labor.
Yes. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of legal migrant workers that come, like, seasonally and work in the U.S. and then they go home. So are we stopping them too? Because
probably not. Because I don't think they really want to destroy. I don't think they want to stop the big corporations from getting their cheap labor.
Some of them, I mean, a lot of them do stay, you know, and some of them get caught and go back, and you know, it's just forget about all the prices going up. The amount of cost it would be to deport all these people is just insane. Just to like round them up, it's going to look like concentration camps. I mean,
is that kind of what the detention centers down at the border already kind of look like?
It's not at the levels that they're claiming. Like it's not at those kind of levels. Like, because they're talking about any, you know, any undocumented immigrant, which they estimate at like tens of millions.
Yeah, that's going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough times.
Long simmering problem. Days after suggesting Mexico would retaliate against U.S. tariffs with tariffs of their own.
Pues potencial guerra arancelaria, la revisión del tema.
No va a haber potencial guerra.
I love the sign language interpreters because they're so expressive with their face. Like they make the face like
Scheinbaum yesterday interrupting a reporter.
They emote with their face.
It's hard for me not to focus on them once you point out they're there. Now I like can't look away from them, and I don't read sign language. I'm only looking at her doing her mannerisms.
Yeah, I remember like when the daily COVID briefings were happening, both like on a national and a local level. I would watch those. I'd watch Trump do them, and I'd watch the governor of Washington do them, and I would just be focused on the sign language interpreter the whole time.
Asking about a potential tariff war, saying there will be no potential tariff war.
I hope he rethinks it.
President Biden calls Trump's tariff threats on the U.S. as...
I hope he rethinks it. That's what Biden said. Does Trump rethink things? I think he thinks about them once.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Depending on how hard it is to implement, it might not get there, but
he's going to wait until he's about to do it, and then they'll tell him he can't do it. Then maybe he'll do it. But like, that's the thing with the wall. Like, he wanted the wall. He was, when he said Mexico was going to pay for it, he meant through tariffs. Because like, what are you going to do? Like, invade Mexico and steal the money for it? You know, like, so he meant through tariffs, but he didn't do it then. I don't think he could have at the time. So I don't know. But he was trying to get Congress to give him money for us to pay for the wall, and they wouldn't do it. So then the government shut down for almost 2 months. Do you remember that? There was like a government shutdown. Yeah.
North American neighbors counterproductive.
We have an unusual situation in America.
Have we had a government shutdown with Biden?
Let me see. I'll show you all the government shut down. Let's see.
We're surrounded
Definitely
by
remember the
Pacific
Trump
Ocean,
shutdown.
The Atlantic Ocean, and two allies, Mexico and Canada. And the last thing we need to do is begin to screw up those relationships.
Scheinbaum says there will be more conversations.
Scheinbaum, that's her name.
Before Trump takes office. As for Canada, a government official this week says they are starting to think about tariffs they can impose on the U.S. No final decision has been made.
We're going to find tariffs to pose on the U.S. Shit. There goes my
tariff
guacamole.
War.
I got the tariff, but it devalued my currency.
All right. List of government shutdowns in the United States. Let me see here. So, and you can't always blame who's president necessarily because a lot of times, like, Congress has held up the, because basically the government shuts down when they can't, like, pass a budget a lot of times.
Which is crazy because they all still get paid when the government shuts down. Like, they're part of the government.
Some of them do
stop working,
but a bunch of
the senators and congressmen get paid.
Yes, and then like the guy who like changes the garbage at the national park, they get furloughed. So like they close off the parking because I tried to like go hike in like a national forest or whatever during that. And they had like the parking lots all like roped off and people were just parking on the street anyway. It's like, this doesn't work. People are still showing up and they're bringing garbage too. You're just not changing the garbage. So there's like garbage everywhere.
Yeah. It ain't right.
So it looks like the first one was in 1980 under Carter and Democrats had control of the House and the Senate, but it was only for one day. And only the FTC.
$700,000.
Yep.
For a one-day shutdown.
Yeah, and they furloughed 1,600 employees. They did one in 81 under Reagan. And back then it was a split Congress. Republicans had the Senate. Looks like a few happened during Reagan, but they were really short. Like there's a few that were only 4 hours long.
Yeah, that's like a good movie. Like a nice long movie. So
16
days in 2013, 35 days.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
I said almost 2 months, but it was actually just a little over a month. Yes. Yeah. They even like, there was a change. When did this happen? It started in 2018 and then moved into January of the next year.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Republicans,
for Christmas.
When it started, Republicans controlled the House and the Senate. And Trump was like, I want the wall, you know, and they're like, no, you're not getting the wall. That's what it was.
But I really want the wall.
Yep. Yeah, there was like a video of it, of him sitting down with Nancy Pelosi and I think Chuck Schumer or something. And he's like, am I getting money for my wall? And they're like, no. And he just gets up and like walks out of the room. It was grandstanding, but it worked.
Yeah. No wall. Wonder if he even cares about the wall this time around. Has he brought that up at all?
Oh, yes, he has. Yeah, just not as much, but, you know, they'll probably build more, but the people who think that they're somehow going to cover the entire border with a wall, like to build it, it would take forever and be really expensive. And then it's not that effective. And the upkeep, you'd have to like do maintenance on it and everything. And by the way, we say wall because it's like ingrained in our heads, but it's not an actual wall. If you can see
glorified fencing.
That's what it is.
They should have like a bunch of drones that are at the border, and you can like sit at home and like download Steam and pay to control the drones. Like you like, pay like $20 a month to fly these drones around, or maybe by the hour even. And if you catch an illegal coming in, you can like clip where it's at, and someone will go down and catch them. You get like a bonus. You get like a discovery bonus. It's like gamify the border. That would be a great way to keep people from coming into the country.
Do you know who Vladimir Klitschko is?
Fighter?
Yeah. He's Ukrainian, and his brother was also a boxer, and his brother Vitaly was like the mayor of Kiev, however you want to say it. So like Joe Rogan said some stuff about Ukraine, and then Klitschko made a video response to him.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Zelensky says Putin is terrified. You, man. You people. You people are about
Joe Rogan basically on this show made he was saying like, oh, Biden said it's okay to shoot missiles into Russia.
And
then he was like, oh, they're going to start World War III, which isn't going to happen. But, so Klitschko made a response to this.
Joe Rogan I listened to your latest podcast. I'm sending you this video to let you know that I disagree. You talk about these American weapons being sent to Ukraine, which you believe will lead to the Third World War. So, let me tell you that you're repeating Russian propaganda. Putin's Russia is in trouble, so they want to scare you and people like you. Putin's Russia wants to destroy Ukraine quietly. They want America to stay quiet. Not great, but quiet. If you invite me on your podcast, we could discuss them like free men.
Like free men. Let's go.
Yeah. Dude, they could have a match where Joe Rogan could even use like his jujitsu, and all Klitschko could do is just do boxing rules, and Klitschko would still win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan is a good, like, normie fighter, but he's not like a big pro.
He never fought professionally, and like Klitschko's like 6'6", like 250 pounds too.
He's got like a foot on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. And he was world heavyweight champion for like I think he might have been like one of the longest reigning world heavyweight champions ever. So yeah.
Joe Rogan, you're repeating Russian propaganda.
Yeah.
Let's sit down like free men.
It's like Ivan Drago speaking.
If he dies, he dies.
Unless he's talking about boxing, I could never understand what anyone sees in that bombastic baldy head Rogan. It's like listening to a teenager with insecurities.
I've definitely enjoyed his show, and I don't have a problem with him personally. I do think he's being influenced by Trump and Elon Musk and that and the like. I think the COVID thing where people turned on him because he was doing like the vaccine skepticism thing, and people turned on him. I think that kind of pushed him farther right, and that's when he did his move to Texas and everything. So, yeah.
I like Joe Rogan well enough. I'll watch him when it's like a guest that I'm interested in, like when a wrestler or something's on. I watch. I don't go to Joe Rogan for any sort of like news, and if I do pick up something that's like significant to current times, I will go look it up and read more about it and see exactly what it is. Now, I don't take it at face value for anything, I do love it when he has the crazies on that talk about the Anunnaki giants building the pyramids and stuff.
Yeah,
I do love that.
I know
bullshit.
who you're talking about. He's like a black dude, right?
I think so. Yeah.
There's
a whole bunch of different guys that come on there and talk about ancient civilization and stuff. They're all so like.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was going to say, do you know who Vladimir Klitschko used to be married to?
Anna Kournikova?
No. She's an American actress. Hayden, how do you say her last name?
Panettiere?
Yeah, he was married to her. He's like...
From, she was in Heroes,
Yeah,
right?
she was the cheerleader. Save the cheerleader, save the world.
He was blasting her. That guy split her in 4 pieces. She got drawn and quartered.
He got her pregnant. See, like they have their baby.
That baby is about to be a fighter. Is it a boy or a girl?
I think it's a boy, but I don't know. Yeah.
Well, there's still time.
Yeah. What else we got? We got... I think this is a Fox News story. Something about slashing Biden's student debt plan, which is like... People were so hopeful for this student debt relief thing. Now I think it's going to completely reverse. People haven't had to pay since COVID started. They paused.
As much as I want to agree with you, Ben Paisan, Rogan's black belt in BJJ would break the Klitschko's boxing.
No.
Not to mention Rogan has striking training. We all like Rogan enough, though.
Dude. A world heavyweight champion boxer that's like 100 pounds heavier is going to destroy the black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is way more effective than boxing for sure, but the size. And by the way, Joe Rogan's also like 10 years older than Vladimir Klitschko too. So
if Klitschko doesn't sit down with Joe Rogan on Joe Rogan's podcast, that's how we know Rogan is bought and paid for by Russia. Because Rogan would talk to him like he talks to everybody. But if he doesn't talk to him,
he's a heavyweight champion
Russian
boxer.
propaganda.
So that's something, you know?
Yeah. He's right up Rogan's alley. They should sit down and talk. See whose propaganda is the best.
Yeah. I mean, if you took just like any like black belt in jiu-jitsu that hasn't actually competed in like real fights with people and you put them against a world heavyweight champion boxer that's 10 years younger and like 100 pounds heavier, they're going to win. Because like all it's going to take is a few like really solid punches to not like he's not going to be able to get a hold of Klitschko because Klitschko's arms are so long. Yeah, him and Lennox
does Rogan
Lewis
even spar that often anymore?
Maybe, but sparring's different than an actual fight, like a sanctioned fight where, you know, you're trying to like really hurt the other person.
Yeah. Butterbean versus Jake Paul would be a good match.
Butterbean's pretty old.
That.
Butterbean got really. I don't know if Butterbean's in very good health. I think he had like trouble walking and stuff. So I don't know if he could fight in the ring anymore. That'd be another Jake Paul knocks out an old man fight.
I saw Andrew Tate calling out Jake Paul.
Andrew Tate was saying, Andrew Tate, I don't know how he'd be able to do if he can't kick. But,
yeah, he says he'd beat Jake Paul, but only if he gets his case dropped. He can't fight him while he's under investigation.
All right, here's the student debt thing.
President-elect Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, under the direction of Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, isn't that just a great sentence in and of itself? Is
No, it's two crazy fuckers.
getting some advice on ways to cut spending. The nonprofit Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget.
First, what we're going to do is we're going to cut down Social Security.
Challenged. Slava Ukraine.
Ooh.
Obviously, they shouldn't fight because that would be like they should, that'd be cool for them to like sit down and talk. Be interesting. I don't know if it's going to happen, though.
Suggests that $1.4 trillion can be saved just by reversing some of Biden's executive actions. Fox Business's Hillary Hahn is at the White House with more. Hillary.
Hi, Tammy. Well, the Department of Government Efficiency through Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have a goal of $2 trillion in cuts. So these ideas from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget pretty much come close to that with their estimate of $1.4 trillion. Here's ways that they say they could save money by reversing some of President Biden's executive actions, by reversing the student loan handout.
Yeah, people got like a student loan credit and they pretty much everyone who has a federal loan hasn't had to make any payments in the last almost 5 years. So, yeah, that's going to be hard on a lot of people who suddenly have to start paying it again.
Hopefully they didn't vote for Trump.
They could save up to $550 billion, reversing some healthcare executive actions, $385 billion, and reversing vehicle carbon emissions rules and SNAP food stamp program changes. That could save close to $300 billion. But ultimately,
why are they going after the food stamps?
We need Congress to be on the same page. So Ramaswamy and Musk
It's all about fucking over poor people. So poor people with student debt, you got to start paying again. People getting free food. Just eat less.
Going to Capitol Hill to meet with Republicans to try to get them on the same page, to work with them to help with their goal of cutting $2 trillion
Let the little poor kids get their food stamps
in federal spending.
I think having people that bring a business mindset, having been a small business owner, bringing that business mindset into Congress, looking at agencies, I think can be a very effective strategy. So having Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, both individuals.
You didn't even say his
name
name
right. Look at some of the corporate Vivek Ramaswamy. What do they take some of these cost-cutting measures and look at the social welfare that's given to corporation, the corporate welfare?
Why don't they?
Why are they going after food stamps? So they can go after all the subsidies that go to corporations.
Why don't they look at the military? Like we know for a fact we have more stuff like for the military than even like all of the members of it even need. Like
yeah,
we overfund the military, and there are definitely bases around the world that don't need to still be open. You know, like there's like holdouts from World War II and the Korean War.
That's kind of what I thought they were going to go after, like those reports where there's like a $700,000 toilet or something in like in a barracks.
There's also
those type of spendings.
There's also like aircraft, like bigger stuff that we'll probably never actually see combat or anything like that. They just sit in a hangar. You know, so
the military industrial complex will not be shaken by DOGE.
Individuals who have started companies,
instead we'll take the food stamps away from the hungry little kids.
Well, Trump tries to push himself as like there's this weird facade that a lot of people incorrectly believe that he's like an anti-war president. Well, if he is, then let's see him close a lot of this shit. We don't need all this shit.
To working with both Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy on making government.
It's Ramaswamy, but she keeps calling him Ramasamy.
Both efficient and effective.
Ramen salami.
Most people spent Thanksgiving Day carving a turkey, but Vivek Ramaswamy spent Thanksgiving brushing up on ways to carve up the size of the government, posting this picture of some
how un-American
light
of him.
beach reading, suggestions from the Congressional Budget Office on how to cut spending. The CBO in these reports warning that if we do nothing, quote, federal debt held by the public would rise to 110% of GDP at the end of 2032, reaching 185% of GDP by 2052. They say debt that is high and rising as a percentage of GDP could slow economic growth, raise interest payments to foreign holders of U.S. debt, and heighten the risk of a fiscal crisis. So not a lot of time to get this done. And the president-elect, Trump, has given DOGE until July 4th of 2020.
Oh, God. It's... They started a new department and named it DOGE. That is like,
yeah.
It just seems like it's not real, but it is. I don't, I don't know.
It's totally Elon too. He's like, Mr. Trump, or what do you think he calls?
Hey, Donald.
He calls him Donald.
Donald.
Hey, Donald.
Yeah, something like that.
Can we call it DOGE? Department of Government Efficiency, Donald.
Yeah, you know.
Whatever you like, Elon. You bought me the presidency.
Right.
To get these cuts in place. Musk says that's not going to be a problem because they're going to be using AI to help sort through where money is being wasted. Tammy?
Oh, boy, that sounds very exciting, doesn't it, Hillary? It's going to be a fun year for people like you and me.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it.
If,
Thank you.
If Trump decided to buy Starlink for all of America and like start an information superhighway system so you can get Starlink across America as part of like access to the internet, I would be up for something like that. That'd be some crazy stuff. About okay, get Elon on board for something like that. Let's give him a big contract, big government contract, and give everybody internet. So there's no kids out in the Appalachians that have to bang their cousins because there's no internet available. Let's bring people back into the future.
I thought immediately, Kara, that stating a number like $2 trillion, it's like monopoly money. Don't state a number because maybe it's $20 trillion. And you heard
it's so interesting how women aren't allowed to wear pants on Fox News.
That they can get to 1.4 just by reversing these executive actions. What about the Department of Education as a whole? Trump says he wants to cut it. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
At least I think so. I think that's still a rule. Hold on. Shit, where's... Oh, here it is.
I thought immediately, Kara.
Okay, the older woman...
She does have pants.
The older woman can wear pants.
The elder analyst is allowed pants.
Yes.
That stating a number like 2 trillion, it's like monopoly money. Don't state a number because maybe it's 20 trillion. And you heard that they can get to 1.4 just by reversing these executive actions. What about the Department of Education as a whole? Trump says he wants to cut it. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, $300 million.
No.
Yeah,
Jon Stewart fought for that.
Yeah, Jon Stewart's just going to have to run for president, I guess.
Mr. Rogers fought for that.
Yeah, that old video of Mr. Rogers in the 60s talking to the Senate trying to get funding for PBS. Yeah.
They're like, who needs PBS or food? Who needs children's programming or food or schools? It's all a waste of money.
He wants to get rid of the Department of Education, and he made Linda McMahon the head of it. Someone who has no experience being an educator at all.
But she does have experience destroying things. She's had a lot of failure in her career.
To progressive groups, at least, as an example, Planned Parenthood gets $50 million a year of taxpayer dollars. When you start looking at the details,
$50 million
it's really endless
a year?
about how much
That's
we can cut.
nothing.
Oh, yeah. It's like
$50 million a year to Planned Parenthood when they offer so many services beyond just burying your abortion. They have so many other services. $50 million is nothing.
Head of Argentina now gone, cut. Let's do it because the government has a massive.
They'll never once. I could be wrong. I haven't watched this video, but I'm pretty sure they're never once going to mention that we could cut the parts of the military, like funding to it. Like,
yeah,
it is overfunded. We can still have easily the strongest military on earth and still fund it less and still pay everyone that's involved in it. It's like sweetheart deals with these like weapons manufacturers and companies that make aircraft and all that.
That's what makes America tick.
Fraud.
There's all these investment companies that are invested in like Lockheed Martin and everything. They don't want their investments going down. They know what they're doing.
I should know. I worked for the government for almost 10 years, and we understand the Pentagon, they just failed their 7th audit. So I'm very glad that the best business minds of our time are actually in there doing things. And I think the best thing about DOGE so far is the transparency
best business
idea.
minds of our time.
We now know
Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk.
I can kind of get Elon Musk because he has more money than anybody, but Ramaswamy is not one of the greatest business minds of our time. That's insane to say.
Grants for
and like Elon Musk was good at like knowing where to put his money. Like he saw PayPal and was like, oh, I should put my money in this and like, you know, be like a big shareholder in this because this is a thing. He's good at spotting potential, but he didn't create PayPal and he didn't create Tesla. He just got in kind of early, like earlier than most people and
He created.
Yeah.
Yeah. He created this social media platform called X. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
He didn't create that.
He created the X.
And that was a waste of money in many ways, but I guess it kind of
paid off.
Yeah, well, it assisted his, you know, what he wanted to do politically. So maybe that was the plan the whole time. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, Twitter became like one of the worst places ever. Like the last 3 or like it's obvious what content gets pushed to the top there. It has nothing to do with who you follow or what you usually click on or anything. It's what they want you to see. That's what it is.
I refused to shut down my Twitter account when Elon Musk bought it, and I thought I'd be able to like not become alt-right, but you know, I'm kind of alt-right now, and it's X that did it.
Underwater basket weaving, you know, grants for the study of random things that nobody actually cares about. That is where our money is going. You mentioned the Department of Education. Yeah, sure, really happy with cutting it. But look what happened in COVID when parents were actually given insight into what these schools were teaching. Transparency, sunlight is the best disinfectant. I think this is going to work. And monopoly money, the government's been playing with it for too long. So the gravy train's over, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. Dr. Nicole,
the gravy train's over, guys. She sounds like such a bitter bitch. Like she's happy that people aren't getting like a little bit of extra cash here and there, or like food or whatever. Yeah, I guess
poor people.
Yeah, go dig it out of the dumpster, you lazy piece of shit.
All the money, the crazy thing about food stamps is the money goes back into the system anyways. We have so many subsidies on like corn and everything in this country that so much of this country's infrastructure wouldn't exist if for not this social, the welfare, the corporate welfare and everything that puts it together. The fact that they're going to start taking away from the little guys again. This happened last time with Trump. Food stamps go down to $140 a month instead of $218.
People are still like the people that get food stamps are still getting it from like a private business that they're getting it from. There's money being exchanged somewhere. It's not just like they get it for free, like if you're the unlucky fucker that, a food stamp person comes into your store, you're just screwed. You got to give them shit for free. Dude, fucking XRP blowing up. XRP
Through the roof.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Is Bitcoin over 100K yet?
I don't know, because I don't have a lot of Bitcoin, but I do have XRP from like years and years and years ago. So like watching it rise like this is insane. Yeah.
Money being cut.
I remember when everybody told me to buy XRP, it was like 36 cents a coin.
I was buying
What's it at now?
I was buying it at like 8 cents a coin back in the day. Now it's $1.80.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, I bought a whole bunch of it back in like 2018.
Eating.
Let's say from medical
It was at
situations,
$1.87 like an hour ago.
Social Security,
So,
and yet
it's on the rise.
Spending is one thing, but if you're spending on shrimps on a treadmill, it's money that's lost. If you're really
Shrimps
being
on a
efficient,
treadmill?
where money is spent where it can do the most good. And that's true also when it comes to healthcare and well-being.
Right. So I was looking at the list where they were talking about cutting, and one was silly science projects. And I'm like, oh, that's probably some of my people. Let's talk about that. So first of all, we have to know that the United States, we continue to dominance in higher education, and it is a huge economic advantage for the United States. That being said, the federal government in 2022, those last numbers I saw, spent about $54 billion on university research and development. The HHS alone provided over 50% of that money. Now, year after year, mind you, I work for one of the largest academic centers here in the country, so these are my people. Year after year, the estimates are about 85% of research dollars go to waste. Not in the waste that people are just blowing money, not doing anything, but it's unpublished research. It's research that has bias or is not statistically significant, and so you can't really do anything with it. So I absolutely think that the people who are now being put into Make America Healthy Again are going to be looking at a lot of these grants and seeing what is necessary, what's actually going to do a benefit. Marty McCary and I
love how they probably came into work that day and they're like, what are we they went to their producer. They're like, what are we talking about? And one of the things that they were handed was like, we're going to talk about how great Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to do as the head of DOGE, the co-secretaries of the DOGE department. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird 4 years, and I really hope that people get their shit together and we can have some sanity afterwards. And I mean, on the off chance that they do really great things for America and this great that they've been saying they're going to have happens, then that'll be good too. But the alternative of everything going to shit kind of worries me.
Doge did not go under, by the way. Doge is currently at 42 cents each. And that a month ago, Doge was 14 cents each. So it's not at its highest ever, but it's way higher than it's been. A year ago, it was 7 cents. So think about that. Think about how many Doge $100 would have gotten you back when it was 7 cents.
A hundo.
Yeah, I mean, and then do the math there. It's pretty crazy. The Doge I have is from years and years ago.
Everything's up pretty high after this Trump victory, right?
Yep, it is. Yeah, yep. Let's check out this. I don't know if we're going to watch the whole thing because we got to do the private show eventually here, but this is about Jaleel White, the guy who played Urkel.
Urkel?
Yeah. Let's see what this is about.
What they got Urkel up to?
His new memoir, Growing Up Urkel, is out right now.
Oh, that's why he's doing press right now. I get it. He's posing like Michael Jackson on the cover of the Thriller album, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Isn't
That's
Michael Jackson like
Urkel? It does look like that.
Isn't he like in a white suit on the cover?
Is it white?
Hold on.
Yeah. It's very similar pose.
Yeah.
That's Stefan Urkel. That's not. That's not Steve Urkel.
He is like, he's in a, Michael Jackson's in a white suit. Like pose
I didn't think Michael had the chest meat out.
Jaleel White has like a brown shirt. It's like a silk shirt that's like unbuttoned. Like the top 4 buttons are unbuttoned on it.
A little more revealing than Michael.
Yeah.
I am so excited to have you here. I have been such a fan of your work. In fact, my kids, 12 and 10, they also watch Family Matters. They know you so much that my son was you for Halloween.
I love it.
Well, listen, I got to tell you.
He was also the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog in the cartoon series.
Yeah, I think
early on.
I think even I think they did 2 different series and he was the voice on both of them. I could be wrong. Though.
The ability to be a comedic actor. I mean, really, to be able to do that at such a young age, to be able to be consistent. You started on Family Matters as Steve Urkel when you were just 12 years old. You were 21 when the show wrapped. This is a very formative period in your life. What was that like growing up as...
By the way, Thriller, highest selling album ever, by far. Crazy.
People they knew as Steve, but also Jaleel.
You know, it was amazing. You know, the number one thing I like to share with people is, at least through the book, is that I attended public school the entire time I was on that show. Yeah.
That's interesting because most kid actors had tutors, like, so that they could stay at work and, like, go to school to, like, just enough to make it legal, you know?
Yeah, you had to do 3 hours a day, I think.
Something like that.
Working during the school season.
The entire time I was in public school. My mother was insistent, and it was a time before smartphones when you could somewhat get away with it, but it still didn't come without its drama. I kind of see my maturation on the show in chapters. You know, when you're in middle school, it suddenly makes you really popular at school. And when you're in high school, you know, you're still popular, but things are changing. Stefan saved my life. We can talk about that whenever you want to.
Stefan. Do you remember the Stefan?
Stefan.
I remember
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to talk about his fight with Carl Winslow. Because, like, I guess the whole cast was, like, angry he came in and stole their show.
Yeah, he was not supposed to be the main character of the show at all.
Yeah, Urkel Mania ran wild.
Yep.
But then by the time you get to college...
Urkel? Yeah, we can talk about that. And when you came in for the Cooling You with Babyface, yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. But then when you finally get to college and, you know, you got the East-West rap beef going on and the image of a young black man is changing in America, you know, it was a weight on my shoulders during my college years. But I survived those, and by the time my daughter got here, I was really able to appreciate the work that I'd done.
Well, I want to talk about that because I've often wondered, I mean, you are so, to many people, we're so synonymous with the character. It must have been hard for people to differentiate you as an actor from the real person. How did people treat you in your college
They're like, you're a big fucking
days
nerd.
and beyond when you would...
You know, I would go to school every day and they would give me wedgies and throw me in lockers. Every once in a while I would get wet willies. But, you know, when I got the Stefan Urkel character out, they started jiving with me.
Do you remember the episode of Family Members where the one girl had the N-word written on her locker? Like someone wrote the N-word on her locker?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, because like you did not normally see that word on TV. Like people didn't say it and you didn't see it written. I guess maybe they were like, okay, we won't say it, but it's going to be written somewhere.
It was a very special episode of Family Matters.
Yep. Very special episode.
Been quite pigeonholed.
You know, I that's the stereotypical reaction, and I respect it. But I've done over 400 episodes of episodic television, and you know, much of that came after Family Matters. It's a challenge for any actor, Laura, to move on from one sitcom or one well-known show to the next big opportunity that lands as big as that show. And it's tougher to do these days because not everybody's watching the same thing anymore.
I'm so glad you said that, because I often think about that probably contributing to a lot of the division we have when we don't have those common threads. Like, we don't have everyone
No, we
knowing.
watch what we want to watch. Like, everyone has a screen in their pocket that they can watch what they want to watch at that point in time, and there's so many more options. And in the 90s, it was like there was only so many channels on TV, and there was shit that was really popular. And when it was on live, that's when you had to watch it. And like millions of people watched it live all at the same time, which does not really exist anymore. Pretty crazy.
The catchphrases.
They do it for like the Super Bowl or like sports.
Yeah, sports.
That's usually when people get together and watch live anymore.
Yep.
Everything else is gone.
Yep. Sports, and then sports-like things like WWE and that kind of shit.
I make my kids watch all the shows I used to so they know that mommy's funny and know my catchphrases, because they got to have some common.
I guess like concerts, like too, like something like that. That like the magic in it is the live experience, you know.
Which is crazy because now they do these concert movies and they put them in theaters and they'll run for like a month. The same concert film, like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, BTS. They'll just be running in theaters.
Yeah,
now.
I could see like, if it was only available in a theater to like, and it was something I really wanted to see, to watch it live, I would do that, but not like pre-recorded, you know?
Yeah.
Allie, their friends have no way.
I haven't watched one of these movies, the concert movies in theaters, but I think they're probably pretty cool.
Back in the day before they had pay-per-view, they used to do closed circuit where like they do like a movie theater and they play a live event like WrestleMania or whatever.
Yeah.
That was like a thing before they figured out how to get it just in people's living rooms back in the day.
Idea what they're talking about, but I want to play for everyone some of Steve Urkel's most famous catchphrases.
Oh no!
Cheese, I'm falling, I can't get out. Then I do that. Then I do that. Then I do that.
Brilliance.
How do you feel when you watch yourself back at that age?
It's, you know, during pandemic, I actually spent some time watching all the episodes I wasn't in and picking out certain episodes that I just wanted to reconnect with. It's an out-of-body experience for me. It really is. You know, I tell everybody, I don't hide it. It was paid schizophrenia. So I really did create somebody who is very similar to me, actually, in a lot of awkward ways growing up, but very different from me in mannerisms, so.
How did you navigate the fact that, I mean, obviously you were not intended to be the star of the show, but you are, I think, one of the most recognizable figures from that show. There couldn't have been all wine and roses behind the scenes. You write about that.
And it was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers, right? It was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers. Sure. I think like the mom, she worked in the same office as Larry from Perfect Strangers or something, right?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, no, it wasn't always roses behind the scenes, and you know, it was definitely bumpy in the beginning, and I think that's been well documented. I don't like to beat up my my former co-stars, though. We eventually really did become quite the family. I talk about
my favorite rumor about the P. Diddy parties is that there was rumors that Reginald VelJohnson, Carl Winslow, was getting plowed by P. Diddy in the back rooms of the parties.
So when we got a chance to travel to Paris together as a cast. We're the only black show that's ever shot episodes in Europe, and I'm really, really proud of that.
It's an interesting statistic.
You know, it's like anything, man. Like the Bulls won a lot of championships, but trust me, they didn't get along all the time. And but it's important that you look back fondly and with respect on the people.
I love Urkel talking about this like he's Kobe Bryant or something.
Yeah,
he's like I'm the greatest of all time. You know, the Bulls won a lot of championships. We didn't always get along, you know. His fucking family matters.
I wonder if they won Emmys, because that would have been the big award for like a primetime sitcom.
They probably got an Emmy. They probably got an Emmy for that N-word episode.
Oh my god! Can we give them like a retroactive one if they don't?
Oh yes. Can we get an Emmy?
Oh, I got to go back and watch The Last Dance again, Scotty. Michael, what's really going on there? I wonder, though, you mentioned the differentiation and how some things you resonated with and some things were like you or not. Did you ever feel like you were growing out of Steve Urkel?
It was on for 8 seasons, I think. 9 seasons.
9. I think you said 12 years old to 21, so it'd be 9.
Yeah. Yeah, and seasons were like 20 to 25 episodes. They even switched networks for their last season. They jumped from ABC to CBS for their last season.
Oh, wow. I remember that. Yeah, that was wild. Because TGIF was ABC. And
yep.
They did not pick them up, and then they did go to CBS.
Yeah, and at one time, they were like the 15th ranked show in the country in their second season. They were the 15th ranked show.
Hey, to me,
It's
that's
pretty
the more
big.
interesting
And
story.
that's against every other type of show, no matter what it is.
Or is the slow, inevitable, and
Urkelmania was
obvious me
huge.
growing
It
out
was.
of the character, which I have to laugh at
Every
even myself.
sitcom would have to throw in like an Urkel type or something. They have to throw in a weird, goofy character.
Looks like they never won an Emmy. Let me see.
Oh.
They may have only gotten a nomination. Yeah, I think. Yeah, in 96.
Damn, was it for the N-word episode?
Maybe I'm wrong.
A very special episode.
Yeah, I thought that they would have had like a best like sitcom, but maybe there were just so many sitcoms back then. Like Seinfeld was winning or something like that.
Yeah, it's the 90s sitcoms. There was
so
lot
many
to
of
compete
them.
with.
Yeah.
You know, and
Mad
I
About
literally
You,
did
I think, was getting a lot of the Emmys around that time.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong
for me-
about that. I know Paul Reiser's.
He was in My Two Dads.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that show would have a totally different plot. Back then,
They should bring back My Two Dads.
Back then, My Two Dads
girls-
was two guys that were like buddies, and they were roommates, and they had one of them had a daughter, but they were both like father figures to her.
Yeah.
Now
Let's
they
bring back My Two Dads, and they're just totally gay.
Yes.
age 12 to 21, Stefan saved my life. You know, I really underestimated how much people needed to see Stefan Urkel, needed to see that I had more range than that, and it really, really did save my life. So
I want to play for everyone to remind people. I always think about the white suit and Stefan Urkel. Listen to this.
Hey.
Dr. Urkel and Mr. Hyde.
Steve. Steve who?
Steve Urkel. You.
No.
No. Laura Winslow.
Laura Winslow. She was the one that had the N-word painted on her locker.
She's about to get some of that Urkel Riz.
Steve here.
So this is all Urkel had to do all like 7 seasons before this, because he's been trying to get with her since the beginning of the show.
Yeah, you just had to drink the potion to make him Stefan Urkel.
Stefan Urkel.
I love it. I remember watching this when this actually came out. I'm still smiling, going because me and my friends talked about it the next day, Jaleel. You
But
got a new
again,
fan club.
Laura, that's a time that we will never be able to revisit again in American history, because when you saw it, what did you do? You hopped on the phone and you start calling everybody, and guess what? All the phone lines lit up after that. It's so hard to create programming like that in this day and age that will trigger someone like yourself at your tender age calling your friends to be like, girl, are you watching this?
But you said it saved your life. If you know, at that point, especially the timing of it and frankly, the stereotypes, some positive, others negative.
By the way, the 90s, yeah, I was just looking up like the landscape of sitcoms, and like Like Murphy Brown won it in 90. And there was like Cheers won it in 91. It was always Murphy, and then Murphy Brown in 92, then Seinfeld in 93, then Frasier in 94. Dude, like Frasier again.
Yeah.
Dude,
Family
Frasier
Matters
won it
couldn't
almost
compete with
every year.
Frasier. Yeah. How you gonna beat Frasier? Sorry. No matter how many N-word episodes you have, you're not gonna beat Frasier. Because Frasier was the guy that you knew was actually like saying it off camera.
Kelsey Grammer. Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer was dropping it off camera. You know it.
4, 5. Frasier won it 5 years in a row, and then Ally McBeal won it in 99. And then that was
Damn.
Friends never won it. That's hilarious. I like that actually because I hated. Oh no, you know what? Friends won it in 2002. I forgot they went on that long. Anyway,
I mean, you went from being, the noted nerd and genius to somebody who was smooth and had the debonair qualities. Where did that come from? Was that you initiating that because you wanted to show range? Or was
this is ridiculous.
Network saying we got to see more?
No, I can't even give the network credit. David Duclon, my former executive producer, and our writing staff, they always saw more in me than I saw in myself. And the highest compliment David ever paid to me as our head writer was, Jay, I can give you anything, and you pull it off in 4 days of rehearsal. So it was by the grace of God, really.
They are talking. She's talking to him like he's one of the world's greatest actors.
I love it. It's so like ridiculous
that their own creative juices went in this direction, and ultimately for a lot of women like yourself, you got a chance to see the real me or something closer to the real me, and I didn't even think it would be entertaining. So I'm happy to have been wrong.
You were wrong. It was very entertaining. Still is, Jaleel. Let me ask you though.
She have like a crush on him when she was a kid or something?
I think she might have one on him now.
Crossover success, of course. Both black and white audiences loved it. At a time
she's
when
got the Urkel me eyes on.
People almost having a segregated watching experience at the shows they selected and leaned into and appreciated. What was it like straddling that line, especially when the writer's room at that time was mostly white and male?
I think that's the thing that presented the greatest obstacle for me going forward in my career. I was used to a white budget. I was used to a certain level of professionalism. I was used to a certain platform that was as big as ABC at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. And
effectively, if it's a white writer's room with a white budget, even if it's a black cast, it's effectively blackface. This is fucked up. Actually. This is some Al Jolson shit, dude.
Show was done, I kind of got reduced to a smaller platform and less budget. And we're going to put you in an urban box. And it's just like, what does that mean when I've been able to do a show that translates all the way to Italy and Australia and Germany,
and they're talking about
Spain
UPN
and France. And I'm looking.
And before that, it was the WB.
On the WB.
Whenever I think of Steve Urkel, I think of this beer from the Czech Republic, Pilsner Urkel.
Did I do that? Walked in on Carl Winslow getting butt fucked at a Diddy party. Did he do that?
Pilsner Urkel.
And at the checks come in from these
cousin
places.
Pilsner.
So suddenly the bean counters are seeing my value differently.
What was that
Family
like
Matters
from,
wasn't a bad show.
Having
like
this
anybody like. We're not saying Family Matters was bad. I loved it. I watched it. It was one of
yes, it was good. And like I was a kid when it was a thing, so I liked it more than I would have liked it when I was an adult. It was kind of more geared towards like kids. It was like the really like sanitized like Disney level type shit, like Full House. There was a block of programming. It was called TGIF, and there was a lot of those kind of shows like Family Matters and Full House and Perfect Strangers and those kind of shows.
It's just funny they're talking to him like he's Sean Connery or something.
EIF experience to having to fight as an adult who's still very much into production, still an actor, still wanting to be a part of, and still obviously a host now and continued success. What has it been like, that transition post 21?
It was a real personal challenge that really forced me to look within to avoid being bitter and jaded. At the end of the day, I've been afforded an incredible life. I love inspiring people. And the thing I'm actually most proud of with Family Matters is how well the show has traveled around the globe. So I've just always known in my heart that God will continue to get me back to that, where I can affect people from all walks of life.
God got you on
no matter
CNN
what
right
color
now.
they
He's doing
are.
pretty good. God is good.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to pull off in TV these days, where they just want to kind of keep you in a box with one. What's your target audience? I'm like, man, I don't have a target audience, man. That's
What does he do? He's like a game show host right now. So it's like
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it same thing with Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton.
Yeah,
he does like
Carlton.
America's Funniest Home Videos and some other game shows. So it's like these sitcom actors from the 90s. That's what they're doing. A lot of them anyway. Like Drew Carey, you know?
Yeah, it's a good gig.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm here to affect people in the world.
That's a beautiful incentive to continue to create art, and I appreciate that so much. I love it, and I'm so loved talking to you. The book is phenomenal. It's called Growing Up Urkel. I did not spoil everything for everyone. It is a really great read to get to know you.
Oh, you
in
mean
this
there's
way.
more? There's
Thank
more
you.
in the
Laura,
book
you
than
rock.
this star-studded interview? Holy shit.
Oh my God. All right. Urkel.
Stefan Urkel.
Yeah, I remember that, but I had already stopped watching by that point. Because I think that was that was towards the end of it.
I might not have followed them to CBS, but I was constantly watching TGIF growing up.
I watched a lot of it, but I had fallen off by the time I had entered high school. I stopped watching a lot of that stuff.
I started looking into like later TGIF, like after I'd stopped. It got pretty ridiculous. Like there was like a show with Bonnie Hunt, and I guess it was all like an all improv show, from what I understood. Like improvised the entire sitcom.
Dude,
that seems interesting.
Full House was never funny. Like I've watched it and been like, it's just not funny. Like the laugh tracks make it seem like it's funny, but the jokes are so bad and they never fully.
I loved it.
Well,
I love Full House.
Oh, dude, Full House was trash. Like when I was a kid, it's like it was funny, but it was like I don't know. I've tried to like watch
Uncle
a rerun
Jesse.
of it, and I'm just like, oh man, this show is bad. Very bad.
They have the Beach Boys show up for an
I know.
episode. Jesse and the Rippers. It was. I don't know if it was as funny. It was like my non-crackhead family. I was like, this is what family should be like.
Sure, like yeah, it was more about like being like a family, like family programming that kids can watch.
Yeah.
But it was and I liked it when I was a kid, but it was like it's not rewatchable for me. It's unbelievably corny. Like not even in a good way. There's old stuff that's corny that like is like better in my opinion. Like it's just my opinion. But
Boy Meets World was the solid show from.
Did you see the
TGIF.
actress that plays Topanga is like sick or something? I think she has like cancer or
No,
something.
really?
Let me
Hopefully
look
it's not
that up.
serious.
Let me see. Let's see. Diagnosed with DCIS, a non-invasive early-staged breast cancer.
Non-invasive?
That's what it's.
Is that a good thing?
Invasive, non-invasive. I don't know. I know nothing about
Non-invasive,
that.
yeah.
So,
Topanga was definitely up there for childhood hotties. She was like a 12-year-old with big boobs. When I was a kid, I was like, this is great. Maybe she didn't get the boobs till she was 16. Now I'm remembering the big boobs being in the Vader episode, and that was her Sweet 16 episode. She's talking about kids' boobs, you know, but I was a kid then, so it's okay. If you're a kid, kids' boobs are okay.
I liked like Kelly Kapowski and
Oh yeah, she was hot.
Yeah.
She was in Son-in-Law.
Yeah.
Son-in-Law was a great movie.
Now we are going to do a Patreon private show. I am going to post a link right here. And you can go there, directly there, and see it. We're going to do some more stuff.
Yeah, patrons $5 and above get to hang out with us tonight.
Yes.
Go drop your $5 on that table, baby.
Yeah, so we're going to go do that right now. Join us there. We got cringe raps, we got public freakouts, we got a bunch of stuff to go over. So you should join us. Follow the link, sign up. You can sign up at any time, cancel anytime. We're going to do it now. See you there.